Hello. Right. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Oh, hello.
Hello. Right. Good afternoon.
Why?
Happy Sunday.
Why am I? Why can't I
I
hear
don't.
myself?
I don't know. I don't think it's mine.
I'm go-
Why am I? Why can't I hear myself?
I don't know. I don't think it's
I,
mine.
I'm going to close StreamYard and start it again.
Righto. Good. So, save is gone. Happy Sunday, WJM. Welcome. So this is the usual, totally slick beginning to the live stream, isn't it? So, and also meanwhile, my TradingView seems to have just kind of given up. It's kind of crashed. I want to see if I can just get it to
Sorry,
reset.
we're not
Oh, you're
doing
back?
too well today. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. I realised what I did because I'm on a MacBook and I was thinking like I've got that doubling up somewhere, and that means that the stream's playing somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know where. And I suddenly realised I had Safari open with YouTube on it. So, but
Okay.
yeah,
So you tried to. It was a technical issue. We could put it
it was
that way.
indeed. Right, sure. I better start again, really. Hello, my name's SaveWithCrypto. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. And let me just get a thing up to look at. Hang on, nearly there. Sorry, I'll stop rambling in a moment. Right, nearly there.
Filling in time by going
Yeah.
rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah, that's not really it's not really professional, is it? Anyway,
Don't panic.
right, brilliant. Anyway, we've got WJM here. Hello, mate. How you doing? Oh, I actually said mate there. Right. I just want to address something because one of our guys in our community wasn't actually scammed, but he was halfway there yesterday because he was approached by somebody who was pretending to be me, and it wasn't me. It was someone called SaveWithCrypto, Save WTH Crypto, right, on Discord. I mean, what everyone's quite aware of at the moment, I think, is things like, where someone will have a name where they, they'll put a dot at the end or like put an underscore at the end, or sometimes they'll swap out the O of crypto for like one of those sort of Nordic O's with a line through it, or they'll put a zero in there instead, something like that, And this one, I had to look at it a few times, thinking, well, that is me, definitely not me. And then I realised the I was missing out a with, which is my middle name, of course. And so do watch out for scammers. And I can't believe it actually, because it's one of the guys who is quite crypto savvy, I think, in our group, and he ended up sort of signing up for an account at like some weird sort of site, and he realized what he'd done. And but I'm just amazed he thought it was me, because it started off by saying hi mate, and even though I might say that in conversation, I'll say, in a kind of like, I'll be talking to Maff and I'll say, all right mate, I will do that, but I won't ever do that if I'm writing something like a message. I won't ever say oi mate. I'll never use bro or brother. I don't even call my brother. I call him Steve, because that's his name. In fact, I didn't even. Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway,
Steve Crypto.
Yeah, Steve with crypto. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Oh, his middle name is with.
Yeah. I know.
Wow,
that was well. It's not really. It's a double barrel name that my dad Fred.
Crypto. Okay.
My dad Fred with crypto, and my mum Janet with crypto came up with. Anyway, so yeah, just watch out for bloody scammers. If anyone says how's your trading going, I'm never going to say that. Also, I never ever use the word utilize when I could use the word use instead, because that used to be a pet hate with mine when I used to do loads of work on websites, and I was looking for what we call spun content, which is where you get original content. and then you stick it into a software program that swaps out words for synonyms, and it comes up with something that is vaguely unique, which used to be good enough to pass with search engines, for a while, but now Google detect it as being spun content, and they always swapped use for utilize, and it just, now I just look at it and I just think, is that spun content, or is that just somebody who doesn't know what the word use means?
It's a thing with passive voice as well, isn't it? I noticed the wording in that message. There's a lot of, I mean, it kind of bounced between tenses and kind of, grammatical things, like, but also it kind of went from one moment active voice and suddenly passive voice and things like that, and it read horrible, like, so yeah,
Well,
it
that
didn't sound like anyone, like a person.
No, exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, probably it's. I mean, if you were to get like, Korean or Punjabi or I don't know, some other language like that, and put it into like Google Translate, I'm pretty sure it would come up with something better than that. It just looked like it was written.
I would say the person that was contacted was suitably cautious. I mean, absolutely kudos for that. Yeah, he kind of called it out. Said, hey, you're not safe with crypto. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, and the other thing as well, it was, I mean, the way it was written, it was like it was obviously just done by some illiterate moron, and I went to a grammar school, I mean, all right, it was in the Midlands, probably not as posh as the one that Maff went to, but I left there with nice qualifications and a good education, and I can actually write. Even though I did do a tweet say me and Maff. But yeah, I'm not illiterate, so if it doesn't read right, it's definitely not me. Anyway, that's that out of the way. Price of Bitcoin. This was really good actually, because I did a video yesterday morning because you were talking about the 12-minute time frame, and I was trying to think where we were now. I think, was that about? That was Friday. So, it was here, wasn't it? Hang on, let's get that right. Saturday. Oh, what was I looking at? Oh, maybe I was on the index chart. Oh, I can't remember now. But basically, with Quadzilla, it draws in these. Quadzilla is our indicator that we use here on the channel. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it puts in these retracement levels here. So, for example, on like last night, the price was going up nicely, but we knew this retracement level was here. And then this morning, just after midnight, it dropped back down to there absolutely beautifully. But I think the thing I was looking at yesterday was, it was this one here, I think, where the price had done this like lovely retracement here. So this is a bullish retracement. This was on like Friday afternoon. The price had gone up from like 102k right up to like nearly 104, and then it came back down there, completing that retracement. Absolutely,
as well, because that's while you're looking at that one, it's got like the perfect sort of pivot at the top where the price reverses, because it's got like it's got the spike up, the sharp wake up. I'm actually not quite looking at it now, to be honest, because it's usually when you get the green candle spikes up, and then the next one is the red candle kind of coming down with no wick at the top. So that one has almost got that, looking at it. But what we have got on there is, I think on the down here. Actually, to be honest, it's not as good as I thought it was. Look at it. But it has got the red background, and the trend shield it is fading, and the convergence band is kind of coming round and suddenly working its way back down. So it has got that. Looking at it now,
completely. And I think
So as a way to sort of detect that the top is in, and that retracement is now kind of into its step 2 step. It's reached the top, and now it's done the up, and now it's beginning the down, retracing back. So that one is nicely signposted, I think.
Look at this sort of thing it does here. This is on the 1 hour. This is like Thursday, right? So Thursday it went up there, then it went up to that sort of. Sorry, that was Thursday quite a while ago, wasn't it? It was Thursday the 23rd of October, and then it went all the way up there and came back down there. Look at that wick there. That was just brilliant.
Oh, bang on. Yeah.
That's great, wasn't it? Anyway, just zooming out a little bit to the 1 hour sort of thing. So, there is this level up here, 109.75, which is looking quite interesting to me. I don't know. I personally feel like it's had enough down for the moment, and it sort of needs to go back up. But we can talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
I was just going to talk about something else as well that's happening tomorrow. Now, sorry to bore you all about this, but I'm trying to get as many people to come along tomorrow to a X space to do with another. This is called another.io, which is what ZoidPay is becoming.
And it's a brilliant name. Got to get positive about it.
Easy. It's every time I'm talking about something else and I say and then that became another token. I think, oh God, no, it's like Anyway, keeping positive. Anyway, this is ZoidPay is something I've been involved with for like years now, and I've kind of watched the token price go really bad, actually, mainly because they've not had a product, and it's looking very likely now that they will have some sort of product out pretty soon. Now, hang on, let me find the actual. Okay, so what they're doing tomorrow, right? They're having a I want to call it a Twitter space, but it's an X space, doesn't it? Which sounds like some sort of porn thing, but so they're having an X space tomorrow here at 6 p.m. at 6 p.m. GMT. So I think that's probably a good time for like most people in this part of the globe, I would say. Sort of, even if you're in the States or whatever, you can go over there and listen to it. Now, I did tell the boss of it is ZoidPay, but I'm going to call them Another now. I did tell the boss of Another, Eduardo Nietzsche, I did tell him that I'd try and get as many people to come along as possible to have a look at this. Now, part of the reason I'm into it is I've got a load of this ZoidPay stuff. Now, the ZoidPay is going to swap into another token, which is called Other, and it's going to move from Multiverse X blockchain, which I think is doomed now, to Solana, which obviously is not doomed. So I think that's a good move, and that's what's going to happen. And then on this page I just showed you, let me just go back to it again. So the ZoidPay-other.com. This is just a page about the migration of the token sort of thing. But what they've done, they put this calculator down here somewhere, and this kind of shows you what you could earn if you owned some other tokens and if you locked them for a bit. Okay. Now, the way they're going to do this, the product is going to be a fintech app. It's going to be something like Cast or I suppose the crypto.com one, where you've got an app on your phone that does like crypto and fiat. The difference being is the actual crypto wallet is non-custodial. So it's not like you have to put your crypto into a central exchange and then they look after it and they let you have it when you want it. It's basically just in a wallet that you could see with any other kind of thing. You could look at it with a Phantom wallet or something like that. You've got an address which is yours, and you've got your seed phrase and everything like that. So it's really appealing like that.
So it's locked, but you still have custody essentially.
Yeah, well, it's kind of locked in a smart contract, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, so it's locked like that. So it's a programmable locked. If you lock it, if you want to lock it anyway. I mean, the point being is like I look back at a video I made in February, and I was saying, this is actually a pretty good price now. If you'd have actually bought some back then, you would be up 4x today. So that so even just having the token is like, that would have been okay. If you'd have bought it in August when it was at an all-time low, you'd actually be 3,000% up now. So I think it's going well, and it's going well just because there's talk about it coming back to life, and that's it. So if they actually bring out a product, I think it's going to be good, really. Anyway,
it'd be interesting to see I know this is getting into the long weeds a bit again, but it'd be interesting to see in the smart contract, because I suppose because it's on the blockchain, it would be public. You could kind of just leaf through the code or whatever, and just because like the unlocked terms, because I suppose it's probably not something that they can rug pull, because it's all out in the public, and because like that code that's in the smart contract obviously can't be changed. So they can't just in a year's time just change the terms of it or something like that. It's just that these are the unlocked terms, and that's how it is. It's immutable. So that is a good thing, I think is what I'm trying to say there.
I mean, there are some things that are unpopular, like when it changes from ZoiPay to other, there's actually going to be more tokens. So there will be
they're diluting it. Okay.
There will be some sort of token dilution, but I haven't quite delved into the tokenomics as much as I should have done. Excuse me. But
if the overall value goes up, if the market cap goes up, then you've got a smaller portion of a much bigger pie, I guess.
Yeah,
so it should work out. Yeah.
So they've got this calculator here, which is like, where you can put in what you think would be the monthly ecosystem turnover. I had a little Google of it this morning, and like, for startups, you're probably looking at about 500,000, something like that. Half a million a month would be the kind of turnover in a month. I mean, things like Revolut are like 150 million a month, but things like Cash App are like somewhere like 150 billion. So the fact that in theory, all I'm thinking is like, if they do it right, it could become like an alternative to having a phantom wallet, whereas a phantom wallet just doesn't do anything apart from like, you can move Solana around. But this would be like a multi-chain thing with fiat, and you'd also have like a credit card, not a credit card. You'd have a debit card, so you could actually sort of like just go and spend your anything really, And,
it probably, I mean, even could be a sort of credit card, because if it's the old thing about crypto loans, isn't it, where the coins are the collateral. So why not? It's all it's all DeFi essentially, or if they arrange it so that it's kind of DeFi.
So they're going to have this like contributor thing as well. So basically, like, everyone's going to start off on this 1x sort of thing, and if you kind of like just don't use the app, this drops to this 0.8. Oh, sorry. What I should say is, but so that the essence of the app is unlike, say, crypto.com, where you get like cash back when you make a purchase. The idea is, if you got your other token and you lock it, you get rewarded every month a portion of the fees from like everybody who's using the app. So it kind of encourages you to, well, A, use the app, and also B, to get as many people using the app as possible. So for that reason, they want to encourage people to like invite friends, that kind of thing. So I believe these kind of like tasks that can push up your contributor thing, that will be to do with like the kind of, if you refer so many friends or whatever. I think it's going to be to do with that, and also actually using the thing.
So the contributor is just push the community in some way, contribute to the economy.
Yeah. So if I leave that on like 1x, And then your token allocation. Well, I'm probably gonna put mine in for 12 months because, to be honest, I've come so far with this damn thing that I kind of think it's getting to YOLO territory at the moment, you know. And I've got quite a lot of this, but I think a reasonable amount for someone who's fairly serious about this, you know, what they could get together at the moment is probably something like a million other tokens, which today would cost you about $3,000, I think it is. You could have got that for less than 1,000 back in August, but I must admit, I didn't. I was going to buy some more, but I wasn't sure if it was going to, if the company was going to survive at all. I now think it will survive, so I'm actually now a bit more keen on it all, you know. So with a million other staked, then, and an estimated turnover of like 500,000, and the reward allocation that's initially going to start on about 90%, and after, no, it is going to start on 90%, and then after 6 months it will drop down to 50%, and that's where it will stay. That's to encourage the initial adoption thing, you know.
Sure.
So actually, let's put that on 50. So that is what the 500,000 is. That is a really low estimate for like a fintech startup, you know. So that would actually give rewards of like $125 a month, okay, which is not bad.
No, it's better than zero.
Yeah,
it's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah.
But you know, I mean, realistically, there's a lot of people who've got more like 3 million, you know, and really, you could probably look at this, you know, increasing to about 1 million a month, something like that. And by that time,
is this kind of it's equivalent AP? Oh yeah, they got the APY. Your APY 100%.
That looks like it's just come out of nowhere, doesn't it? But
it's a bit of a round number, considering if you're inputting numbers there.
Yeah, that's quite weird actually, but yeah. So with those kind of figures, you know, you'd be looking at like $750 a month sort of thing, which is nice, isn't it? Anyway, so that's the idea. And obviously, you know, if they get it right, it can only grow, really. Well, it's a bit of an assumption, but
but with the so I guess you'd compound that to $750 a month, but presumably that you'd have the choice each month of kind of siphoning that off and spending it on other things, or just kind of compounding it back into the pool, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I believe the way it's going to work, we're going to get paid monthly in stable coins for that amount. So you can do what you want,
okay, yeah.
and they will be the rewards will be liquid, I believe. So you know, you can do what you want with them. But yeah, you could compound your gains, and you know, very quickly get up quite nice. And at the same time, all along, you've got a card you can use. Now, the disadvantages for me personally is initially this is only going to be in euros, and I think the next currency to get involved after that is going to be dollars, and then GBP, British pounds are going to be kind of later, you know. So
it'll be a distant later after Mexican pesos or whatever.
And with this company, that could mean anything, you know, because like they don't like the word when or and
especially if it's spelled WEN.
Yeah, as much as I don't like the word soon, you know, because it's fairly meaningless with this company.
Like,
but anyway,
when Chippy 2.0, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, I listened to his X Space the other day. Actually,
I meant to ask you about that. Maybe after this, because I didn't actually see it, so I've got a few questions about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
But Cyprian just commented. Hey, Cyprian. He was saying this other looks like the MEX scheme. Yeah, I mean high rewards, high inflation. What do you say to that?
Yes, it does. I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it does look like that. I
Depends on
don't
the
know.
token issuance, doesn't it?
Anyway,
What
the point is, I mean, I was very, very into this project back in 2023, and I did have the boss Edward on the show in January 2023, and we were talking about the app coming out in May of that year, and it obviously didn't happen. So here we are, like sort of nearly 3 years later, and still haven't got the app. So there are questions to be asked, and the place to ask them is at this AMA tomorrow. And this is one where they do encourage people to take the mic and ask questions. So what I did say to Edward, the boss, I did say I'll try and get as many people as possible to come along to this. So I'm just going to put the URL for this in the chat of the thingy right now.
Sure,
and I'm making a video about this today as well, which I'll publish later on today. Okay, right. So I'll stop talking about that now. And
so on to the next thing, I guess. Yeah. Just before you jump to the next thing. So WJM earlier was saying, guys, I'll watch later. Have a party to take my children to in East London. That sounds very old school Disney. Like, I don't know, just bed knobs and broomsticks or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just like it's children being taken to a party in East London. Maybe not. Just me then.
I tell you what I did like once. It was like years ago. I was listening to I think it was Annie Nightingale's show on Radio 1.
Oh yeah.
And she said, I've just got a message for Paul Oakenfold. And you know Paul Oakenfold?
No.
He was a kind of DJ producer type. He was like top of his game back then in the sort of early 90s. And he was doing like amazing dance music and stuff like that. And he said, like, I've just got a message from Paul Oakenfold's niece. She's really looking forward to you being at a party later on, and can you bring some balloons? And it was great, just the idea of like Paul Oakenfold was normally like being flown to like Miami and stuff for like sort of massive concerts and stuff, and he was off to his niece's party and had to remember to get some balloons and like that.
Yeah, and don't forget the clown shoes, you'll need them.
Yeah. I suppose these days it'd be like actually, I don't know. I was going to say David Guetta, but he's like 20 years ago now, and he really. Yeah. But
so how have I not heard of Paul Oakenfold? So it sounds like something from Tolkien or something. But
I kind of knew him because he produced a tune that I like. Human Nature by Gary Clayle and the On New Sound System. That was a bit of a house classic in the whenever it was. I don't know.
I was going to say I'll look it up after this, but when you said it's a house classic, maybe I won't bother.
Anyway, right. So, do we want to do a little bit of TA, or
that sounds like a great idea?
Does it? You got something up your sleeve?
Probably. Yeah, we do that. Cause we're going to talk about Quadzilla 1.6 as well.
Ooh, is that your surprise?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. So I'm a bit worried about it because I know we kind of talked about it, and I could surprise you with what's in 1.6, and that may have turned into Maff's got a surprise for us. But there isn't really a surprise. The surprise is there's nothing that anyone hasn't seen yet. Surprise.
Okay, all right.
So with that slightly lame disclaimer out of the way,
there might have been a bit of clickbait there, to be honest. Actually,
to be fair. Yeah.
Anyway, let's do this. Moo.
Moo indeed.
Okay.
So where should we start? Do you want a TA, or shall I do some TA then?
No, I'd rather you did, because I'm yeah, I don't know. It's just a nice relief for someone else to look at someone else's charts.
For sure. Yeah. Let's do that then. Okay. So, do I need to do the shilling? I think everyone who's watching the moment probably either has Quadzilla already or is in the Discord and kind of knows all about it and so on. But get Quadzilla. There you go. That's a shilling done. You know you want to. It will make your trading life a hell of a lot easier and more profitable, and it's cheap too. So with that in mind, so yeah, this is. Let's just move my boom arm, my creaking boom arm out of the way with the microphone, for I cheaped out on it. So yeah, this is Quadzilla 1.6. So I'll try and incorporate that a little bit into the TA as we go along. So yeah, on the 12-minute here, then we've essentially got this bearish retracement level that's come in here. Its step 2 is played out. It's into its step 3 currently, and we have this bullish mid-range cross that's taken shape, as you can see by this new feature that's in. Oh God, is this going to work? As you can see by this new feature that's in 1.6, which is the sort of mid-range background highlight, kind of showing up the fact that it's basically that the convergence band has crossed up in a kind of specific way. So it has to be between. So that this is configurable, but it has to be between that level and that level, and both the fast-moving stochastic has to be moving faster. Has to be moving in the same direction as the weighted average stochastic. So if that all happens, then it's usually a very good sign that there's going to be a bullish continuation of the momentum to the upside. Same sort of thing for the downward as well. You can see there, it's a continuation signal, really, that hey, this has started happening. There's going to be some more of that, and it happens. Same with that one. That would continue strongly, in fact, and yeah. So that's that. TA. Let's have a little think about this, because to be honest, I came into this having just been eating a plate of scrambled egg and bacon, and it's literally kind of scrambled my brain. So I'm not quite sharpened with it at the moment. It's got I think probably from the bacon, I would think it's got whatever they put in bacon that messes with people's minds, and and does whatever. So pigs. I've got pigs on the brain at the moment. So sulfites I was thinking of. Yeah. So what's going on? Numbers coming down. So yeah, I guess this was actually what we were talking about earlier with the notable price reversal. So you kind of get the sharp candle wick at the top, and the reverse candle has no wick. It's just like it's like a statement, isn't it? Sort of rejection and back down. So where we go from there depends. I mean, it's that could well range out if it doesn't suddenly just head back up again. But because we've got this range just here, shall I draw that in? Kind of that, maybe that sort of thing. So it's probable orders just kind of built up there, so that this is in effect just kind of dipped down into this order block of I guess buy orders, and it's kind of reacted from that, sent it back up, where we've got the bullish retracement level. In effect, that's the sort of line of support for this. So depending depending how far back up that gets, you'd expect it to sort of come down again, and maybe if it can dip below this retracement level, then in effect it will have fully fueled up, I think, from these buy orders in here, which should then give it enough fuel to sort of launch back up, and off it goes. So that's my thinking on that. Also, my thinking on that is, blimey, will you look at that? that's pinpoint. That's kind of what we like to see. So
which bit?
This just here. So this retracement level.
Oh yeah.
So it's up, then it's down for a long time, and then up, and bink, touched it. So that's about as pinpoint as it gets. I mean, generally, although that makes for great optics, and it is just seriously, weirdly uncanny that it does that. It would have been quite nice if that had actually just continued on up. However, you did kind of get the continued upside. So what this does signal is that there's a general sort of price just wants to go up at the moment. There's a sense of that. So, and especially with these other sort of things, because we've had the bullish EMA crossover to the upside. The 9 EMA was obviously racing away. It's kind of leveled off a bit there, but it's curving up again, if that can just continue up. There's sort of price weakness in the sense that it's just doing this. It needs to, as I was saying, just drop back into here to refuel and take off again. In fact, there it goes. If it can't do that, then yeah, we would see a drop down probably to there, to 101. Oops, to 101 point whatever, 0.8. So, and this mid-range cross here doesn't look great. That actually, sorry, that was actually for this candle, so that's actually fine. But it is a bit ominous, that there may be a bit more trouble times here. So if this, how long has it got? 7 minutes, nearly 8 minutes left. So if this candle kind of closes down, if the next one was then bearish, then yeah. But we'll see. So I think that structure ought to hold out there. And if not, we've got this level to bounce off. Hopefully just come down to finish that step 3. Although, to be honest, if it comes down to here, we might well see a drop to like here, sort of as a last ditch level of support there, which would be 101.5. On the, so that's the 12 minute, should go to the 1 hour. On here. Now, interestingly, okay, yeah, so this is some TA that I'd drawn in the other day, and just sort of end of the week, like Friday-ish. So so this was kind of a order block that got drawn in. Can't remember what time frame. It was on a higher time frame. So yeah, that's kind of 107 going out to 109. So like 108 being pretty much the midpoint of that. Good old 108. So what I would say with this is that this kind of slightly weak ascending bullish trend line kind of is continuing, isn't it? Oops, we've the wrong thing. If I continue that one, that might continue to be just kind of relevant, because really, having adjusted it a little bit, the price is kind of bouncing off that as it goes, isn't it? So dropped down but recovered quite sharpishly. So yeah, and just continues on up ish. So in this case, even if that kind of micro order block that's drew in on the 12 minute, even if that continues, even if that fails and the price does drop down, we could still expect the price to maybe just kind of drop from there and continue on up. Ideally, we kind of want it to break away from this trend now, show some strength, show some strength, damn it, and just kind of escape up. So we kind of want to start to see that kind of happening and just find its way up, at least to this level, which is a slightly lame 103.8. Yeah, I just want to see a vertical takeoff, don't we, really? Well, yeah, so that's shall we? I mean, it's just kind of slow weekend action, really, isn't it? At the moment, it might well pick up steam later on this evening, and then into the kind of New York really getting started tomorrow afternoon, UK time.
Yeah, just for information, the CME closed at 104.160 on Friday afternoon, Friday night. So that is quite a bit higher than where we are now, actually. So
it is, yes. That's kind of promising.
So there is that.
Yeah. So if we actually start to see a climb towards that later on today, into this evening, that actually now suddenly seems fairly likely. I mean, was it did it close on a downtrend though?
I don't know.
Close on an uptrend. Yeah, looking at that. So that's CME. I mean, on here it's 104.03. So call it 104, I think. Yeah. So that's nice. And there are no gaps, are there? I think that we're seeing. I mean, that'd be nice if we had a gap just there to fill. That'd be just, kind of what we want. But yeah, okay. So it could just continue on up, when the CME opens, because things here are kind of looking generally pretty good. Mid-range cross is a confirmation that this is going to continue up. So on here, looks promising. So what I was going to show was, sorry, what am I talking strangely? What I was going to show was 1.6. Let's go in here and have a quick look at stuff that we've got. So this is a setting for the mid-range cross. You can just switch those off and they disappear.
What wasn't the mid-range cross there anyway? Or
so my release notes, my release notes for the mid-range cross are the mid-range cross has been restored, and then in brackets, did anyone notice it was gone? Smiley face.
Right. Okay.
So in 1.5, I released it and accidentally had a thing switched off in the code so that clicking and unclicking this had no effect, and I don't think anybody noticed. So I tried to learn something from that, which was that if it's going to exist, then it ought to kind of just have a bit more of a identity of its own. Because beforehand, all it did was it contributed to this overall background color changing, the red or green. So now, as I say, it's got more of its own identity. So the new thing now is that it has this. It shows up independently, literally like mid-range, so it doesn't colour all the way up now, so it looks different.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm seeing it now. Sorry, yeah,
okay, yeah. Actually, let me just do this bit so you can
make it bigger.
Just exaggerate it a bit, yeah. So there we go. So this.
Oh, I see. Sorry, because you were showing it before, and I was thinking, like, oh, I'm sure it was there before, because
the name was there before.
Yeah, because I turned it off when it first appeared because it was just confusing me, and
I think because it was tied in with this background, with the full background change.
Right.
It was essentially, so either it would show up here as a full background change, or if this is already there, it would brighten it some more, so it would contribute to it. So effectively, I've basically taken the feedback on board and the fact that no one noticed when it was gone, which meant that something's up there, So yeah, as I say, it's its own thing now, but it does kind of still fit in with the, it's not like adding a new feature, if you know what I mean. There's not like suddenly this new thing drawing something new on here that we now have to kind of figure out and interpret and so on. So it, in that sense, it's I think it's still intuitive. I can't even delete that. Let me delete. Oh, I'll just undo. It's intuitive because it's kind of in keeping with what else is happening and the rest of the visualizations on there. So it's literally like, so when these backgrounds change, obviously that means that it's a price reversal. You can kind of or a momentum reversal, really. You can expect a complete change in the direction. When these change mid-range, it's essentially that it's a confirmation of the current trend. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is. That's yeah. Sorry, that's much. Yeah, that I think that is the surprise actually. Excellent.
Oh, probably is actually. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised too. I've kind
Well,
of forgotten about it. But yeah. Oh well. Thus encouraged. There's more surprises to come.
Is there?
Which actually sounds a bit worrying. No, you might be worried now. So, but yeah. So, and then the other aspect of what's changed there is the logic that goes into whether these are drawn or not, essentially. So, it's basically that when the momentum lines cross upwards or cross downwards, as I was saying, it has to be between these two. It has to be within that mid range, and also both of these have to be traveling in the same direction. So sometimes you find like if the average is just kind of horizontal, I mean that one's only just moving up there. If it's horizontal, but the red crossed above, then you wouldn't get one of these because it's not really a confirmation if that happens. So it has to be, the confirmation is that the stochastics are in agreement about the direction.
Gotcha.
And it's kind of this kind of, that's raced ahead. And it's something that would have been missed by this because obviously this background only shows up when the stochastics are down here in the oversold or overbought zone, and they curve around. So it's a different thing happening, if you see what I mean. Just a bit more visualization, a bit more guidance on the. So it's that. There is, of course, more information in the tooltips. And also you can change the settings. So those are set to 20 and 80. Like so, the 20 line and the 80 line. If you wanted them instead to be more mid of the range, you could just 30 and 70 cent be about there and about there. So I think having done that, I don't know, just trying to make it have an effect. Maybe if I change to 40 and 60, you might see some of these. There you go. Some of those disappeared now because that's now a very narrow range. 40 to 60 there to there really. But if I put that to 20 to 80. So anyway, that's it. Oh yeah, the tooltip tells you all about it there. So given the given the following conditions, if the red stochastic line crosses above or below the white, then and the cross occurred while they're between the two mid-range values and they're both moving in the same direction, then the mid-range background changes. Signals that blah blah blah, all the stuff I was just talking about really. So it's all in there. What else is new? Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, the step 2 and step 3 retracement colours are differentiated a bit more, as can be shown. Let me just scrunch that up a bit more. Let me do that. On this one, so that now is clearly on. So on that, I've over scrunched. Let me unscrunch that a little bit. So yeah, that's a lighter colour, that's a darker colour, and so now you can kind of clearly see that's a step 2 and that's a step 3, and similar for the bearish, like in this one. Lighter colour, darker colour. You can kind of see that a bit more clearly. There's also the as before, the thicknesses are different, but you can modify those. You can modify those now. So where's the retracements? Yeah. So line width. So step 2, it's thicker. You can see it's set to 3 pixels. The other one is set to 1. I could exaggerate that. Maybe set it to 10 or something. Whether that changed? It was meant to change. Don't know why it didn't change. Have I broken that? Probably. I better fix that before this is released then. Is there a maximum? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I broke it. How about that? Okay, yeah, that'll be fixed before this is released. So
yeah, don't want any of your shoddy work.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. There you go. So the step 3 changes, but I know. Yeah, that should. Oh well. Maybe that one does. Let's check this very quickly. I'm just curious now. How I done broke it. So if I change that one to 9, say. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so expect that'll be fixed before I send over the release code anyway. So what else have we got? So so by request, the EMA bearish and bullish cross alerts. Oh, sorry, by request there are now EMA bearish and bullish cross alerts. So if I go into the alerts, we've kind of got a whole bunch more than there were before. So faster EMA bearish cross, faster EMA bullish, faster EMA cross, which is just, if either of those happens, so you can save an alert or two just by having that one that covers both those cases. Similarly for the normal speed EMAs, the 20. So the faster EMA is the 9 and the 21 EMAs. Yeah. If they cross over. The normal ones are the 21 and the 55 if they cross over. And similarly to that, that's a combination of the two. And there's also, if any of the above EMA crossing happens, you can just combine that into one alert. And also, great. Yeah. So if you just want to be notified when anything Quadzilla related happens, like any of these things, there's a hyper alert which includes that one. So if you get like any EMA cross or a super down or super up signal, etc., that happens, then that you could just kind of set one hyper alert and then just go to the chart in that time frame and try and figure out what changed. So yeah, that's that. What else we got?
This is almost getting to the stage when it's almost becoming feasible to try and configure a bot using the info
potentially. Yeah. I was thinking about it. My conclusion was kind of like, my God, that would be a absolute rat's nest of pain and anguish. I think.
It would.
Well, yeah. Just so, like, even if virtually every trade was it was a success, I'm not sure if I want the responsibility of having. I mean, in honesty, I don't think I would want a bot. I wouldn't want to trust my trades to a bot because I get uneasy enough with that, like it's making decisions with my money effectively on my behalf.
Yeah,
Um,
I know what you mean.
so having the bots and by extension me and you, I guess, um, making decisions with other people's money on their behalf. Um, it's just like so. It's one of those great ideas that I think that hides an awful lot of potential bad feeling. I mean, this isn't a comment on anybody like here or anything like that, but it's just um, uh, if a bot makes a trade decision that's different from what you would have made,
Right.
and it fails, you realise you would have made a better decision. Then
Yeah.
there's going to be something, some kind of, even at a
Yeah.
subconscious level, like the sort of, what the hell was that? This bag of crap or whatever.
Yeah, I quite like the way Eric Krohn does it, because he's very into like automating his strategies, and the way he does it in his because I did join his Crown Quant automation thing for a month last Black Friday actually, just to see how it was all working. I
Yeah,
must admit I was a bit out of my depth really. I didn't quite understand everything that was being talked about there. It might be different this year, and I might give it a go. But
mm,
but essentially what he did was, he said like, well, basically the main tool he sells, it's got a different name now, but it was called the skeleton key. It was a thing where you can just put in some alert conditions, and it would like back test it over the past, whatever years. You generally use
yeah,
Bitcoin because you've got 14 years, well, 17 years of data, um, and that's kind of what he did. That was the main thing he kind of sells, is the kind of back testing tool.
yeah,
And then he's got like a few like template ideas, uh, and then but then he encourages people to actually come up with their own strategies and then try them out, because what he said is like, we've tried actually everyone using the same strategy, and it sort of stops working, you know. Uh, I think in the way that you would expect it to. If you'd invented a magic box where you put a £5 note in one side and a tenner comes out the other side, or even better, two £5 notes come out the other side, you just feed them back in, and then if you got that magic box, would you sell that? And of course you wouldn't, would you? So
yeah,
um, so for that reason, it's not really for that reason, but when you've got people doing the same strategy with like large sums of money sort of thing, then I suppose other algorithmic traders sort of basically learn what you're doing sort of thing, and then sort of, I don't know, it all goes wrong, so the bot idea only works when you've got like almost like an infinite number of different bots, and none
yeah.
of
True.
them are the same. So I don't know, it might be something I might play with, like using maybe a
Like
third
books and
party
things.
thing,
Yeah,
but there's certainly enough alerts now in Quadzilla to sort of, for someone who does do that kind of automated trading, there's enough alerts there now to actually probably come up with quite an amazing strategy, I would say,
yeah.
if
I think
that's your
so.
bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely planning to add more stats into here, like things like for the super up and the super down, um, maybe the green and red backgrounds as well. But um, because like I was talking the other day about maybe kind of improving basically making the super ups and the super downs a bit smarter,
Right.
just a bit more aware. Because at the moment we have this kind of like, well, they show up, but you have to watch out for these other things, like the EMA trends and a bunch of other stuff. So just
Yeah.
they could incorporate that. But so it'd be a combination of, so they show up less often, but also so they show up more often under more favourable conditions. So looking at that, it'd be a switch. So if you wanted the classic behaviour, you can still have that.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking at them with Zcash, ZEC.
Should have a look.
Because I was thinking, like, everyone wants to short this now, because obviously it's gone up like a 1,000,000% in the last sort of month, and so I was looking at it on like the 3-day time frame, looking for sort of like, does Quadzilla give any clues of where it might sort of, where it might top out, sort of thing.
Do that. Get the 3-day.
Yeah.
Add a custom.
Because with this sort of thing where it's something like running away, I try and find the highest time frame where it's got something useful, and sure enough, the 3-day was showing a couple of super downs.
Oh, right there, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's going to happen at some point, isn't it? It's going to sort of go back to
drop down to that level.
Yeah.
To 120.
Yeah, which would be a phenomenal short, wouldn't it? But it's like, I know people have just tried to short it on the basis of like, we're shorting it because it's gone up so much, but that's not really how crypto works, is it really?
Well, it's a weird thing with Zcash, because it's I hate to call it a bubble, because I'm all for the privacy coin stuff, and just privacy and freedom, all that good stuff in general. Just sort of secret internet cash, effectively. But I think a lot of what's happened with it, this like sudden stratospheric climb, it's just, there's been hype behind it, isn't there? Like it suddenly became popular virtually from out of nowhere. And Monero kind of fell out of favour, of course, but that, I think, so Monero is still massive, and it's still really important, I think, because part of the issue with Zcash is that its privacy is optional, and whereas with Monero, the privacy is simply baked in. You can't opt to have non-private Monero transactions. With Zcash, it's more like you have a slider of how free do I want to be with with this latest spend. So that aspect of it is what's allowed it to be added into exchanges, whereas Monero has obviously just been like delisted from all these places. So in a way, that's quite fitting, though, that Monero has kind of been pushed back into the shadows, because that's kind of where it belongs. You kind of want it to be slightly off the radar. That's a true privacy coin. Zcash is, I don't know, I was going to say like easily exploited. What's the word when you if something's been foiled? It's foiled by design, I guess.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it, but where you can just kind of like I say, you can just dive in and look at transactions and say, okay, this went to this person, this went to that person, they're on a KYC'd exchange, I know exactly who they are, and so on. And the governments probably like Zcash from that aspect. So yeah, I'm not so sure, but because all it really takes, I think, is one open transaction on a particular Zcash wallet, and it's the whole thing is wide open, really. So there's that aspect of it. So I think people have been massively buying into it because it's an alt, and maybe some more money generally has been flowing into alts lately rather than Bitcoin. It probably speaks to a particular sort of zeitgeist at the moment. People are very suspicious of governments, and Zcash seems like a nice kind of safe way of buying that. It's almost like a meme coin, an expression of public feeling, of culture in that sense, underground culture, and yet it's kind of unusually available on exchanges. on KYC'd exchanges, etc.
Mm.
Slightly lopsided rant on that one, but I think what I'm getting at is that this massive upside feels like it probably is going to have some downside pretty soon.
I know.
And it might be quite sudden. Yeah.
But where? It'd be great if we could find it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if only there was some sort of signal like this that indicates when where that's going to be, and how far down it's going to come too.
The only problem is that's the 3-day. Have you got a 5-day there?
I could probably rustle up a 5-day.
Because
where's the days? Yeah.
Because actually that's
It's come down a
it's-
lot, isn't it? That because if so, how long has that got? Doesn't really. Oh, it's not showing the amount of time left on that. What's that with TradingView? But yeah, so
you've got that convergence band at the bottom. That's right above the 80% now, isn't it?
yeah, it is, and the red is obviously curving down quite a bit. I've got this just massive sort of just rejection wick, which suggests that. So the reason I was wondering about like, it's that, isn't it? I was looking at, so it's got 2 days and 11 hours left of this 5-day candle. So if the next candle is a bearish candle and it has kind of a flat top, then expect a major sort of downward move from there. It's a potential blow off top, in effect. What I genuinely hope is that this is just going to go sideways, if anything, and then kind of continue to work its way up. But also, people are aping into this because they're seeing it as an investment. Obviously, they're not necessarily stocking up on Zcash because it's the future of spendable money.
No.
So this is pure speculators buying in here. It kind of so for actual usage, you don't really want it to be too expensive. You kind of want it to come back really ideally back down to those levels. You even kind of want a privacy coin that's also a stable coin. I mean that's something to trigger governments, isn't it? It's just those two those two things together. Not just a stable coin, not just a privacy coin. It's a stable privacy coin. I can see heads exploding, government heads and so on. But yeah, I don't know. So, but that's what it needs because I mean, Monero is pretty good for that because it doesn't move around too much. It's almost a stable coin in that sense. And probably being off exchanges helps a lot with that.
I suppose with this, as you're saying, for people who are just getting it to make money out of it, I'm actually wondering if the kind of round figures are going to always be a sort of thing on the way up. I mean that wick did sort of wick into like 700, didn't it? So I think I don't know. I can imagine there's a bunch of people who've got like shorts set at like $1,000, haven't they?
Quite likely, yeah. It'd be interesting to see some like not really liquidation, but it's like a liquidity heat map of this. See the order flows effectively visualized as a heat map, so you could actually just see exactly where the sell orders are placed. Because I think you're right. I bet they would be at that sort of level, like the round number level, just poised. I bet they're looking at this at the moment and sweating. It's like, oh no, got greedy with ourselves. Yeah. We've got some comments actually. Let's have a quick look. Actually, sorry, just before this. Hey KB, afternoon. I think just before that, Cyprian saying looks like lower highs in the 1 hour time frame. Shall we have a quick look at that? Just super quick.
So I did notice another one as well. Just while you're doing that, yeah, Valiant81 said, "Is Eagle finished?" Okay, it's is it finished? No, it's not finished.
Finishing.
I think for me, the only reason the reason I want to stop talking about it is because I've actually sold quite a bit of mine. I decided to sell it when it was $15, and I'm using that money to trade Bitcoin. So I think that's probably a better use of the money. Benjamin Minku annoys the hell out of me because I don't know what he's talking about half the time. In fact, probably about 99% of the time, to be honest. And
he's got a silly name.
Yeah, well, no, everyone's called Oo, aren't they? If they're Romanian, but
okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Benjamin bit? Anyway, I quite like his name actually, but I don't know. I just find the bloke himself. I mean, all he's talking about is attracting builders, and I think you need to attract customers. People are actually going to use the stuff.
Ideally, yeah.
Really, it's like it's. I think somebody said, like, if you've built the fastest train in the world, sort of thing, what you need is passengers. You don't need extra carriages, which was probably a reasonable analogy, I suppose. So probably I don't know. The only thing I've noticed is since I've stopped talking about e-gold and since I've not been as enthusiastic about it, I'm losing subscribers because I think initially a lot of the original subscribers I had probably came from when I was talking about the MyRDEX back in 2021, 2022. Yeah. And I was very into it then. So I don't really want to lose them people, but there again, if I'm not talking about that anymore, it's yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we need to get more subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please do click the subscribe thing because it's kind of annoying now because I think we're doing better content than ever here, especially now Maff's on board, and the subscribers are going down. I don't think it's Maff's fault.
Well, I hope not. Yeah.
Well, no, but it's weird though, isn't it? It's like I think it is. I think it's my fault because I'm not talking about EGLD as much, But to be honest, I haven't got anything positive to say about it apart from technically it's very good and it's cheap to do transactions and it's really fast. But like. Maybe
we could do with an explainer video about the technicals.
Yeah, that.
If that's really its big thing, because if it genuinely just hasn't got much else going for it. I went to see the X Exchange the other day because I was looking to just swap some of what I've got there into ZoidPay, and I don't know, it was just this singularly most frustrating, bamboozling experience. I had no idea what was going on.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I hadn't been there for a while, and the first thing I was met with was like this really stern, almost full screen warning coming up saying you have negative energy, and it's like, well, screw you. You've got negative energy.
Yeah. But that's a pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, exactly. So that didn't set the right tone from the beginning. And then I was thinking, well, okay, I've got like a few e-golds and and a few like mexes and mexes or whatever, and that some seem to be locked up. I need to see if I can just unlock them, release them from the thing, right. so that I can just do something with them. And okay, yeah, you want to do this one simple thing that'll be like you need to sign 18 transactions or whatever it was.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like what the flipping heck, and as it turned out, I think the value of what I had in there had come down so much. It just wasn't worth the frustration. I'd rather just pay the remaining value in there to not be so frustrated, and so I just got the hell out of there. So that was my welcome back experience with. So obviously not just the coin itself, but I think specifically with the exchange really.
Yeah, and the thing
And
is,
that's the majority of people's experience with
and the thing
multiple
is,
checks, isn't it?
and the thing is, you're not an idiot. I mean, neither am I don't think. Well, I'm a bit, but I actually find the thing really frustrating and complicated, and I think that for anyone new coming into the space, that they're just going to look at it and think, oh, okay, buy, and then
Yeah,
and then
basically. Yeah.
they'll go off to some Solana decks instead.
Yeah.
The real problem with X Exchange though is they've put a bloody French bloke in charge of it, and really honestly, if
I
you
don't know
want
what that means, but yeah.
if you want a business to run efficiently, don't get the French involved.
Yeah.
They're good at wine and cheese. Just let them cook and make wine
Stuff that
cheese.
needs to feel complicated. It's
Yeah.
like, this red wine has a particularly bamboozling complex aroma, or this cheese has a complex palate.
Yeah,
It's perfect for that.
I mean, I don't know. They're not good at new things. I mean, for example, like where I used to live, there used to be a local brewery called Brasserie Alphon, and it was run by the son of a guy who was quite a famous skier, Luc Alphon. And the brother was called Lionel Alphon, and I was talking to him about his beer because we actually did a gig in his brewery in this little place called Valoise, and I was talking to him. I said, "Oh, you're doing really, really well with this beer." And he said, but you should try out some my new recipes. I have been to Ireland, to Dublin, and I have some ideas, And he went, "You try this one," and he gave me this glass of like this kind of black beer, with a nice sort of white foamy head on it,
Yeah.
And I thought that looks interesting. I thought it's obviously some sort of stout, So I tasted it, and I was like, my God, Lionel, there's something in there that shouldn't be in there. There's some taste in there that should not be in there. He went, it's my special ingredient. I said, what the bloody hell is it? And he said, it's coffee. I was like, no, you don't put coffee in beer. you idiot. Anyway.
There's a very, I don't know, it's like a scene from Fawlty Towers or something. It's just chasing him out, like kind of whipping him with a napkin over the head.
Honestly,
scurrying out.
I mean, to be honest, on my actual on my suggestion, he did actually sort of change the recipe and remove the coffee from it, and
but at least made it decaffeinated.
Well, it just tasted perfectly all right after that, and it was nice. It was like the most Guinness-y thing that you could probably buy locally made in the French Alps at that time of life, But
so French Guinness is basically lager with coffee added.
Well, I don't know. He did get it right in the end, and the Alphon stout is actually all right, actually. But it's not their best product at all, anyway. But the point being is, like, you sort of give him a bit of an education. Like, you go to Dublin, go to the Guinness factory, and then come back with a completely cockeyed idea, and they're a bit like that, the French, they think, I have a good idea,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just to emphasise, we both actually quite like the French.
I do. I mean, I lived there for 20 years because I loved the place.
Yeah.
I'd like to live there again one day, but bloody hell, doing business with them and stuff is like, terrible. I mean, the French guy, I can't think of his name. He's like, Francois Baguette or something, but who is the X Exchange bloke now? I don't know if you noticed, but on X Exchange at the top of the screen, there's this like kind of flash of lightning that happens, kind of like, I won't bother showing it now, but it's like a sort of just a flash of lightning. It's like there's a storm in the background, and when I first saw it, I just thought, what the hell is that there for? It just looks like my monitor's broken, because I've had screens that have done that before. And I said to him, I said, this is like a terrible idea. What the hell is it there for? He went, "Oh, it's to represent the energy in the decks." And I said, "Right, you don't need to do that, because like that just looks like my monitor's broken. This looks like I never want to go to that site." He said, "Oh, and maybe we can have an option to turn it on or off." I said, "Just have it off.
Add complexity. Yeah,
just turn it off. Just
turn it off and break the switch off." So
and he said, "Maybe we will introduce it as an option," and they never did. It's still there now. It's like
so if adding an option makes it too complex, then add an option to have the option or not.
Yeah, we're not going to give them the option to have an option. I mean, I don't know. It's just, but I don't know. But that's the sort of thing they bought. I think, like, did they actually sit around for like a couple of days designing the flash of lightning, sort of thinking that will get people using it? Will it? It won't, will it?
How much UX research did they actually do on that one? Like, if they're honest about it.
Sweet Fanny Adams.
How many people do they get in? Random people do they get in off the street and offer them biscuits, as they do for these things, and then just say, like, "Can you try out this UI and tell us how much you hate it?"
Yeah.
Well, they probably said, "Tell us how, on a scale of good to amazing, how much do you love this UI feature?" So there's slight confirmation bias in their questioning, I think. I imagine that's how it went anyway.
Anyway, so that was a bit of a long answer, that was, but yeah. So eGold isn't finished. I'm not into it at the moment, and at the moment I don't think it's going to go back. Certainly not to its all-time high, and I don't know. So to me, there's better things to be involved with. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's got a few more comments anyway. So
hello.
Mr. Delta, hello, afternoon troops. How's things on the front line? Well, I think now on the front line we're basically angry with the French for not sticking to cheese and wine. so
he actually knows Lionel Alphonse, because
Mr. Delta does?
Yeah, because he's been playing drums when I've been doing gigs at Lionel's Brasserie Alphonse in Valois.
Pretty neat. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nick K, hi. So the Max, SaveWithCrypto, could you look at your favourite coin, Crow? I'm in a short. Should we have a quick look?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, being in the short is probably not a bad idea, actually.
That's true. Yeah. Why am I owing that? It's
well, I suppose it's because it's a sort of project that I'm quite bullish on overall. But yeah, it's been coming down. I'll tell you what about this. It's like, fundamentally wise, I mean, that big pump back in September, when it was, that was because Trump said something about something. It was going to involve CRO.
Yeah.
And that's why it pumped. But realistically, that wasn't a big pump. So my only worry about that is that when really good things happen, it doesn't really change the price that much. So I don't know.
Yeah, that one was purely news driven, wasn't it? It was more of a surprise pump, I think. Just people whose hands were on the throttle kind of got so surprised that crypto.com, let alone and Crow, and in fact, rather the other round, that the Crow, let alone crypto.com, had been actually mentioned, like, in the mainstream news, and Trump had mentioned it. So I think that the hand must have slipped a bit on the throttle. So what? And then they realised their mistake and kind of pulled back. But something that utterly didn't affect the outlook, really. Maybe the outlook. Macroeconomical blah blah blah, but certainly not the tokenomics or anything like that, or the intrinsic value of the coin. So it really was just like, so this got mentioned, and nothing else really changed. So, like on the daily, just big surprise news pump. Did that very much this sort of the big rejection spike back down. Try to recover a bit, but then just like don't. These levels are interesting. So that, like, here, it was obviously trying. If it could have held within that area, then so much the nicer. It obviously didn't. It just flopped out of there, bounced a little bit. There's not even anything there. Why that number over any other number is weird. Like it's coming back here. There's it's just empty space. There's no particular pattern. Because if it had continued on up from there, then that would have been very, very positive, because it would have been like higher lows on the way back up. Just to labour the point a little bit, I could just draw that back in. Could have, so we might have been fully expecting it. Well, maybe they're fully expecting it to sort of hit there, bounce maybe again, and up and away. But instead, it's just like down. Well, funny enough, straight down to this, where these two retracement levels. Both of them became true. That's amazing. Even though one's bullish and one's bearish, it obviously came down, hit this. The bullish one was a sort of up and down, came back up in the same candle, and stayed up from there for definite. So it's pretty decent. The bearish one, it was in its step 3, so it had already done the down, up, and the down, and went down a lot further. So funny how that works out sometimes. They're opposites, and they're right next to each other, but they both turn out to be right.
Yeah,
maybe it's just the nature of the crow market. That it just kind of it doesn't make a lot of sense.
So who was it? It was it was the Max.
The Max, yeah.
So if he's in a short,
Sorry.
It does look to me like that the kind of dumpage might be over. Actually, I don't know. I'm just looking at it on a 1 hour time frame, and I'm just
I mean, even on the 4 hour, that's looking like it's coming around a bit. So the average stochastic just has very much just leveled off. I mean, you can kind of see it that it's doing that. It's just again with the trend lines, but that I've drawn it wrong anyway. It ought to make sense. It ought to come from the wicks, really. So that's it's doing that now, isn't it? And it's showing a bit more of a sign that it's going to sort of come back up. There's strength there. It's not very much strength, but there seems to be more strength than weakness. Not financial advice or any of that gubbins, but if it was me and I was in a short there, if I was in profit, I'd probably close the short. Just my feeling. If you're in a loss, or if I was in a loss on there, I would actually consider closing that short anyway. I think closing a trade in profit is overrated. We should be making more losses in this game. But in the sense of like close it before it becomes an even bigger loss, and then you're trapped in a trade.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've learned. It's actually like lots of little losses is better than one big almighty loss.
That blows the account. Yeah.
Yeah. So
for definite. I mean, that's
make sure you've got something to play with.
Right. Yeah. There's very much a thing going on there, isn't there, with that level? Which is what's happened to all my numbers? I just decided it doesn't really want to tell me what price things are anymore. I think it's because with these, it was for a screenshot. I think I was putting in. No, it's not. It's not there. It's not showing price label. Anyway, it doesn't want to tell me the number today. But that price, 0.132. That's such a lame price, to be honest, for what Kronos is. It's a good coin. It's technically it's this thing back. It's technically a very good coin, but haven't sort of checked the the tokenomics of it too much, but it gives the impression of being just a sort of infinitely dilutable coin. Obviously, very, very centralized. And I guess Crypto.com haven't got a great track history of looking after the coins that they issue.
I don't know enough to comment, to be honest. Actually,
sure. But as long as they this time they've really learned, and they're going to actually stick with this coin, especially if it's going into the US, potentially into the US Treasury bag of what have yous, then they might promise to look after it a bit more this time. So yeah, I seem to have just accidentally drawn a ascending wedge there. So is that bullet? I mean, it certainly means that even short term it's going to keep doing that. So then you could well end up seeing that when it retests this level again, there's going to be upward pressure, isn't there? And maybe this time it's going to push on up through, and it might explode up through, depending how the market goes this week overall. So that's great. Other comments? I think who's the French bloke? Clouseau. Could be.
I was more thinking, who's the guy off Hello? René. No, but I quite like the policeman in that.
Good morning. That one. Yeah. Anyway, so we got Stephen UK. Howdy. Right. Howdy. Back to you. The Max. Hello. And I think this is a bit of a chase because he posted the previous comment ages before. Sorry,
I was jumping ahead of myself.
Well, we were talking about baguettes and French cheese and so on.
Barry.
So, in fact, I was going through the 1.6 features. I'll probably need to wrap up fairly soon because I think I'm supposed to be going to B&Q after this to look at wooden floors or something. Okay. But so if we kind of zip through the other features.
I need to get some potatoes.
What, for a floor?
No, for my dinner.
Okay, that does make more sense. So other features in 1.6. So by request, the EMA cross alerts have been added. By consensus, the trend shield alert, not the trend shield itself, but the trend shield alert has been removed because no one was using it, and it didn't really make any sense to have an alert for the trend shield.
Okay.
Have we got trend shield in this somewhere? Have I just picked the one coin where the trend shield never shows? Quite possibly. Let's head back to a sensible coin. I should have chosen fart coin for that. Here we go. So, trend shield is really just saying nothing to see here, no change, more of. There's going to be more of this continuing, essentially. So here it's saying, be careful because, even though there are signs the price is going to go up, there's also weakness still. So expect some more downside. Down it goes.
I've got a brilliant example of the trend shield actually. If you want to just quickly look at Zoidpay USDT.
What's that?
Sorry,
how do you spell it?
We might have mentioned.
Oh, ZPay.
ZPAY.
Zippy.
Should be on KuCoin.
Zippy Cryptos. Is it not? Oh, is it not on?
No, it's only on KuCoin.
Okay.
Right, stick that on the I don't know, the weekly or something. Actually, maybe 3 day if you got the 3 day.
3 day.
Or 5 day. I don't know, 5 day.
I got both. I added this especially. So you want 5 day. All right. Let's do 5 day.
Right.
Where? Hey. Okay.
So this is a good example. What are you looking at there? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So if you zoom in, so you can see the last sort of year. Okay.
Zoom out. What do you mean?
the in, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay,
So
I see.
this is a really good example, right? Sort of. So you can see as the price has been going down, we've actually been getting these green backgrounds on the momentum oscillator. So you keep thinking, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe we're at the bottom. But look at all those trend shields down the bottom.
Yeah,
And then when they
it's
stop,
like they're trying to tell you something.
yeah, really, it's just one after another. It's like, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And then you get the final one disappears, and then
Yeah,
boom, up it goes. I think
yeah,
that's a really good example of like,
yeah,
why you should pay attention to the trend shield.
yeah. That is pretty nice because even here after the downtrend had kind of stopped, so these started to fade out. The momentum started to move up a bit there, even though there wasn't much
Yeah,
happening there. But it's showing that there was strength building up,
yeah,
and so that this actually gave you pretty fair warning to get prepared on that. Here we go,
yeah,
here we go. Uh, Last bit of, probably some profit taking was going on there, I'd imagine, with these little, because up close and personal, those would not be little blips. There'd probably be some quite significant price moves, really.
oh yeah, yeah,
So
50, 60%, yeah, that sort of thing,
yeah,
at
so
least.
some profit taking was going on there. But then, okay, off you go. The elastic band is fully wound and it has been unleashed upon the chart, and boom, yeah, up it goes.
Yeah,
So that is pretty great.
yeah,
But in terms of an alert for a trend shield, it obviously just doesn't make sense to have one because it's really saying, hold, hold, hold. So you don't really want an alert that's saying, quick, don't do anything. It wakes you up at 3 a.m. So yes, that's gone. In effect, just a bit of a tidy up. So what else?
yeah. It's a bit like I said before. It'd be like having a doorbell that rings every 10 minutes if there's no one at the door.
Yeah, for sure. It's true. Now you mention it, that could be quite handy. I think. I'm sure I could think of a use. It's good. It's good if you're in a conference call, like a Zoom call that you want to get out of, and you forgot to set the the doorbell thing, so it just goes anyway. What do we got? So oh yeah, actually the inputs in the status line says a tidy up with that because people were always kind of asking about this, understandably so. Like when you go into here and you get this inputs in status line setting, because Quadzilla did kind of like put in a lot of numbers after that, which are just all these numbers. So it's saying, oh, you have to go in here, you have to untick that, blah, blah, blah. But then I suddenly realised that I can just do that in the code itself. So that they're all switched off. They're hidden in the code. So it's a nice little tidy up. There was a... Okay, I'm being told that we need to go up the... So a little bit more. So just to finish these, simplification was removing. This is an interesting one actually. Removing the show faster EMA retracements setting and the faster color coding in the retracement arrow. So there's been some actual consolidation of features there, which we kind of do as the feature set grows. And so like if a new thing has been introduced, like the faster EMA retracement levels, then as they sort of bed in and they become just a more kind of, cemented in part of the product, essentially,
Right.
then the distinction between those and the normal retracement levels just becomes a bit kind of arbitrary. So as of 1.6, there's just retracement levels that we don't need to distinguish between the normal ones and the faster ones at all. It's just that they all contribute to the cosmic sort of quality of being a retracement level. So there's that, and it simplifies things here. In terms of the accuracy of them, I think overall they're easily accurate enough the faster EMA ones to just be a retracement level.
Okay.
Because the percentages they still tend to be up, in the 90s of these things retracing successfully anyway. So yeah, simplified things a bit, and obviously as that's happening, we're kind of adding new complications in. So we have to have a balance really on those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, mid-range cross, blah blah blah. See the tooltip. Oh yeah, I think. One thing about this mid-range cross is just to note this, because the way it's drawn is different from the background. So this is just setting the background of the bar. These are actual drawing things, shapes. So they're only drawn up to about like 500 bars back from the now. So if we were to sort of scroll left and left and left, well, then as you can see they disappeared. But like on a larger chart, you would see that they stopped drawing anyway. But so just to keep in mind, if you're scrolling back through history, excuse me, they disappear. You can still get them if you set the replay further back, and then that counts as the now. But yeah, just keep that in mind. There was one other thing, I think, which was in the stats. This is, I think, with the stats, because I have run out of time, so I might just leave you with what the stats look like now. But we might have to do that in a separate thing. Which goes again just back to a chart with a bit more history and zing to it and so on. So let me bring up the stats. This really is especially for. I was going to say that in like a sort of late night DJ, radio DJ voice. Like this one goes out especially to Pete in the Discord, because I think he particularly loves his stats. So if you're either watching this now or if you get to watch the playback later, Pete, this is for you. So, so essentially, we still have the original stats, which was for the bearish is that row, which is in bold here, and for the bullish it's that row. So they stand out a bit still, but there's some extra stuff, and there's also a bit of a tidy up in how things are shown and so on. So for the bearish, these have tooltips. So and it's just on that thing, because I find with a lot of tooltips on things on the chart in other indicators and so on, that you're just kind of moving the mouse around, and a giant tooltip just takes up half of the screen area, and I think it's really annoying. So I've restricted these ones to just those areas, and that's obviously only if you have this stats table displayed. So essentially, it gives explainers. So I think people were wondering a bit about what some of the stats really meant. So this breaks it down a bit. Then the other things we've got here, so these up-down arrows are showing the... so for the bearish retracements, for step one, how do you find a bearish retracement? Has Bitcoin just not shown any bearish retracements? Oh, there's one. So like on here, step one is the down, kind of down to the lowest price and it's from the point where they started to draw, and in fact it's also the price of the candle, the open of the candle from where it started to draw, or rather, sorry, the high of the candle when it started to draw. So it'd like be there, because it would have been bouncing around the price within that candle. So they're down to the lowest point, which might have been there, but in this case it happens to be the same candle. So it's like rip down to there. That completes step one, because then step two is obviously when the price comes back up from there. And so that step two number, sorry, that step two there is the average price distance, the range from the end of step one up to the top of step two, which is like above, when it gets to its highest point above step two. And in this particular one, step 3 just happens to be just kind of there in the next candle. So then is the price in that kind of back down to the level, because at that point it stops tracking that retracement level as soon as it's dropped below and completed step 3. So you kind of get the average price kind of from here, then from there down to there to the lowest, then up to the highest, and then back down to the level. That's that and that. And also the amount of time. The average percent move as well, I should say, for that middle one. So like step 1 on average, from the point where you can start trading it when it's detected, on average it's a 20% move in this particular case on this chart. This 5-day chart, so these are big amounts. So it's on average 20% move down, on average an 80% move back up to the price reversal, and then step 3 is on average an 8% move. But that's just in terms of what it tracks. So it'd be like from there down to there. But then obviously if you're in a short, you would keep it going. So it'd be like, in reality it'd be like all the way down to wherever. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a lot here. I think that this will definitely need a separate video. And also, to be honest, a lot of these stats, I think most people probably won't really need. It's more just that for the stats nerds who really want to get into the details of these things and compare on different charts and so on, it's got like suddenly there's a wealth of stats information that you can use, and the tooltips kind of break down exactly what each one does. The final one then is just how long on average that each of these steps takes. So like step 1, when it's on the 5-day chart, should I just go to, let's do the 30-minute chart, because for like intraday traders this is going to be more the sort of thing, I think. So like bearish step 1s, like kind of, well, from there down to there is on average 12 bars or 6 hours. Bearish step 2s, which would be from there up to the very top, is on average 37 bars or 18 hours, 30 minutes. And then the bearish step 3s, which is kind of like there, if that had carried on drawing, be there back down to that level, is on average 7 hours or 7 bars or 3.5 hours. And the same for bullish. I've got to go. I'm being
That's all
called
right.
out to B&Q.
That's all right, no problem at all. Actually, we've actually been talking for an hour and 50 minutes. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But right, the Bitcoin's having a bit of a pump as well. But yeah, thank you very much for everything, Maff. We're obviously quite excited about Quadzilla version 1.6. We'll try and get that out to you next week. And if you haven't got it already, then please do go over to savewithcrypto.org/QZ. Let me just flash up the banner for that. That's the one. And we'll see you back tomorrow at the same time, actually, sort of midday UTC. Although apparently if you're German, apparently midday doesn't mean midday, it just means the middle of the day. So it's actually 12 UTC. So
okay. Oh, that's worth keeping in mind. I think because that does explain a lot, because I'd mentioned midday in the Discord one time before, and one of the members there, who I think is German, said, "Well, what time?"
Yeah,
and I was thinking, "Oh, I just told you it's mid." And then, but yeah, so that does explain that one.
Yeah, if you tell the German to come around at midday, he'll turn up about 2.
Yeah, they do a exact calculation of the zenith of the sun's position and so on.
Ich bin here. It's very fun. But yes, anyway, right, I'll stop talking.
Yes. And anyway, moving quickly on. Yeah.
Right. Right. So no, we better go anyway. All right. Right. B&Q beckons, as does Lidl and their potatoes, and then I'll make Sunday lunch. So have a great Sunday, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 12. 12 Uhren for the Deutsche. We'll have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's B&Q from him or something.
Okay, brilliant. So